Another day, another Cubs injury. We got to talk about it right after this. Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of the Chicago Cubs Central. I am your host, Mike Jones, here with you again, guys, talking all things Chicago Cubs. Do not forget, this is your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs Central. Appreciate each and every last one of you that have been tuning into the episodes, those of you that leave comments below. Thank you all for joining, hanging out with your boy. Y'all, what the hell did we just watch? We just watched the Chicago Cubs about an hour and a half ago, drop a game to the Miami Marlins, a team that is not on the same level as our Chicago Cubs. The Chicago Cubs dropped to 28-20 on the season, while the Marlins improved to 19-27 as they take game one of this series. Initial thoughts. I think everybody was wondering. I was on Cubs Twitter. Everybody was wondering why is can anybody explain to us why Daniel Palencia was put into that spot? I know that the commentators had talked throughout the weekend about the fact that Palencia's numbers had looked great and that it was going to end. You were going to end up having to see if maybe you could put him in that closer role. People have started questioning that. For me, I like him at the setup position in the eighth, him or Presley. I mean, I really like Presley in the seventh, him in the eighth, and then Porter Hodge in the ninth to close the game out. Unfortunately, we did come to find out that Porter Hodge is headed to the DL. I'm sorry, not the DL. That's hilarious. Headed to the IL, headed to the injured list with an oblique injury. No timetable for his return. The Chicago Cubs are now dealing with yet another injury. So on top of the money that they spent for like an Eli Morgan, on top of the money and the trade that they made for Brian Presley, on top of the fact that they are so short-handed right now in that bullpen with arms that you can trust, on top of all of that, now the Chicago Cubs have to deal with the fact that they just lost their closer, Ryan Presley. I'm sorry, just lost that closer, Porter Hodge. And to me, guys, I am flabbergasted right now. Don't really know what to say. Lost for words, but the Chicago Cubs got to get a closer, man. I mean, you guys tell me. The question of the day right here, right now. We're going to start the show off with it. Is it time to call Dave Robertson? Is it time to call him and see, like, hey, man, you want to come in, throw for us? You know, see if you can locate and see what we can do. Because clearly you don't trust Presley. Palencia is a good pitcher. I'm not gonna slight Palencia. I thought Kyle Tucker could have caught that. Kyle Tucker was jogging instead of running like full sprint. And he did not catch that ball. Had he caught that ball, it'd have been a completely different story. The story probably still would have broke that we lost Porter Hodge, and that's why Palencia was in that spot. But we would have had the happy ending, and the Chicago Cubs would have won their 29th game on the season. Instead, they have to go for that tomorrow. Tomorrow night. So, yeah, man, it's just weird how nobody said anything. Nobody came out and said anything about Porter Hodge today during the day. Nothing about it. No, everything was quiet. I mean, I assume, I guess they found out after the during the game, or maybe right before the game started, or after Craig Counsell's press conference. But literally, the Chicago Cubs are the most quiet franchise in baseball right now. They have to be, because there's no way that you can literally keep the fact that your closer, the guy that you trust, is injured with an oblique and you don't know when he's coming back. You still got Tyson Miller out. You got Justin Steele gone for the season. And on top of all of that, Craig Counsell breaks the news earlier today. Shota Imanaga won't be back until sometime in the middle to end of June. The Chicago Cubs are all the way banged up, man. And it's frightening because the Cardinals are right on the Chicago Cubs' heels. It's May. My homie Bird told me earlier. It's May. It's May, it's May, it's May. I get it. But still, as a Chicago Cubs fan that is in turmoil and that has PTSD from what happened last year and how the month of June and May were not good, May and June were not good to the Chicago Cubs, I do not want to see this team lose, 8 or 9 games and find themselves sitting at 500 by the end of May, going into June, where the schedule does get tougher. You got to see those Cardinals. You got to see, the Detroit Tigers. You got to see teams like that. You're going to have to play some tough teams coming up. I would love to see the Chicago Cubs take advantage, and they should have taken advantage today. This game shouldn't even been this close. But Ben Brown couldn't hold down the home run ball. The Chicago Cubs have to figure something out. I would not mind if eventually when Shota Imanaga does come back, if they keep Cade Horton as a starter and move Ben Brown to the dugout. I mean, to the bullpen. I would have no problems with that. Second question of the day. What do you guys think? Do you think that Ben Brown should continue to be a starting pitcher, or do you think that the Chicago Cubs should move him back to the bullpen? Colin Ray is able to give us innings. Matthew Boyd is able to give us innings. Like I said, guys like that are able to give us innings. I mean, Ben Brown had found his way in this game, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the Marlins put up another big inning on him. He had sat down 12 straight. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know. We could be in for a wild ride here over the next couple of weeks if we're going to have Porter Hodge out for a while, and we're going to be depending on the likes of Daniel Palencia and on Ryan Presley. There's been talk of Luke Little, calling him back up. Obviously that the Cubs also signed Kenta to a minor league deal. Kenta Mateo to I think that's how you say his name. I don't know, but they signed him to a minor league deal. Like I said, he got released earlier by the Detroit Tigers when he had an ERA of 8. But the Cubs believe that they can fix anybody in the bullpen and in the lineup. So I guess they figured they could fix him. So we'll just have to see about that. But either way, man, like I said, it's not good right now, guys. It's not good for the Chicago Cubs. I mean, these injuries are piling up. Ian Happ is expected to return in this series. That is good news. Like I said, it could be one of those situations where he could return tomorrow to the lineup. Like I said, and then you move Seiya back to DH, and then, like I said, you can move Pete back to the back end of the lineup. And you can have Ian leading off again. I mean, like I said, this gives you more firepower towards the back end of that lineup. So, I mean, we'll just have to see what happens. But as far as the Chicago Cubs go, they got to figure something out. We do still need to win this series. I mean, to put it mildly, we need to win this series. There's no other alternative, no other option. We need to win this series. We need to take advantage of it, and we need to get ready for Cincinnati over the weekend. Like I said, the Chicago Cubs do drop this game 7-8. Daniel Palencia does take his first loss of the season. The Cubs are right back at it tomorrow. Oh, gosh, lost my camera. Hold on. I hate when it does that. So the Cubs are right back at it tomorrow, going up against the Marlins again. Jameson Taillon is pitching, going up, and we got Ryan Weathers, who was killing the Cubs last week. Cubs could not get a hit off of that left-handed guy to say at all. Jameson Taillon needs to have his best stuff, and he needs to keep the ball in the ballpark, because as we saw today, the home run ball is a problem not only for Ben Brown, but it's also a problem for Jameson Taillon. He's gotten beat up pretty bad over the last couple of weeks with the home run ball. So I mean, he's going to have to figure something out with that, guys, and come up with his best stuff. So we'll just have to see what happens. Like I said, be sure to tune in to that. Appreciate you all for tuning in to another episode of Chicago Cubs Central. This is your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs. Guys, question of the day once again. Remind me, let me know. Do you think that the Cubs should call? Do you think the Cubs should call David Robertson and see what they could do about potentially getting him signed and bringing him in to the team. I mean, I just think that it's to that point. I just think that the Chicago Cubs need to figure that out. You guys let me know what you think. Like I said, in the comments below. I appreciate each and every last one of you for tuning in to this episode. Like I said, it's going to be a great week. Hopefully, the Chicago Cubs win more than they lose. There's always a great week with that. But whether they win, whether they lose, I'm here with you to break it all down. Appreciate each and every last one of you for tuning in. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Also, follow us on our other Chi-Town Sports Central channels. Like I said, we have everything you need. All you got to do is put your favorite Chicago team's name and then put the word Central behind it. And then go ahead and hit that subscribe button, guys. But until tomorrow, appreciate each and every last one of you. Hopefully, we're talking about a dub tomorrow night. Go Cubs, go. Peace.
Thank you for watching another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, the #1 spot for all Chicago Cubs content. Remember to like, share, subscribe for more Cubs content.